Welcome to the We of All Humanity website.
My life is an example of the devastating effect, the generational effect black-white parenting with fear, lack of lamal, has on an individual. Although I was not sexually or physically abused, I was a neglected child parented with fear or lack of lamal before the age of 2, which resulted in the author becoming homeless, depressed, getting 2 divorces, confusion about a career, a diagnosis of manic depression late in life, and becoming jobless. Manic depression is a classic example of a problem caused by black-white parenting, because while the depression is the inability of child to find an intellectual solution for the black emotional whole sense of being a worthless, useless nothing, mania is a hyper-intellectual attempt to avoid being sucked into the black emotional hole, which is analogous to a caged, crazed hamster running in a wheel. The bipolar, another name for manic depression, is a prefix meaning into 2 parts, as in bisect, which describes the severe emotional, intellectual unbalance divide within, because black-white parenting bisected the emotionally, intellectually balanced child at play in the field of lavender hue at birth, emotionally, intellectually. I lived life in the gray zone of emotional uncertainty and played the game of life in a manner that would earn enough affection, approval, attention, to feel less worthless, useless, and more worthy of being loved, needed, wanted. The author used the external god of matterism because when I joined the Army, I was too gray zone apathetic to care if I lived or died, and could prove I was not totally worthless, but coming home in a coffin draped in a red, white, and blue flag. My formal education eventually came to include an MBA because instead of identifying, developing, using my internal passion in architecture, I was going with the flow of the McGee-McGus flock by making the mad, angry, fear-filled dash to try to escape the guilt, shame associated with not feeling worthy of being loved, needed, wanted. The 3 degrees in architecture on the wall behind me prove I have since formally developed my internal passion in architecture, and the model of the first zero-carbon, off-the-grid, Fibonacci-based design on the planet to my right shows the potential I had as an architect. The greatest loss for not having lived life as an architect is not finding genuine happiness, joy, fulfillment within by using my internal passion for the benefit of myself, the me, the we of all humanity. Because while an egotist will only do that which is in my own best interest, the emotionally, intellectually balanced human being me will do that which is in the best interest of me, the me, humanity. Blaming your parents for the emotional pain and suffering caused by the generational effect of black-white parenting with fear, a lack of lamal before the age of 2, does not solve the problem, because in most cases it was done unintentionally, and placing blame never solves any problem. Understanding the cause of the problem does. Neither does blaming God for the deep emotional pain, because while societal values, norms, customs, and traditions vary from society to society on the home planet, the foundation of the human gene code does not. The simple truth is, the foundation of the human gene code is the lavender field of being the internally passionate, trusting, tender, truthful, true blue, humble, compassionate, curious, courageous, zestful individual me. If the lavender field is not nurtured, the child at play within will become an externally passionate, egotistical, cold, ego-emotionless icon, too proud to accept, acknowledge, admit being severely EI divided within. Instead, solving the EI imbalance problem within begins with no longer denying the problem exists and accepting the problem by first looking in the mirror, then making the inward journey by fighting the true blue civil war within every day, to remove the ego bridge fix for the black emotional hole, the orange emotional flame of yellowish fear, seeing red anger. The solution to global warming is also to stop denying the problem is caused by man and take the drastic measures necessary to save the whole planet for future generations. The scientific fact, not unsubstantiated opinion, that global warming is caused by man is significant, because if the problem is caused by man, it can be solved by man. Neither does blaming God for all of humanity's woes solve the problems of humanity, because the integration of free will into the gene code of humanity means the Creator must ask, cannot make any human being me do do anything. The integration of free will was a design choice by the Creator, because instead of creating a God robot living in an idyllic world, free will allows every individual in the we of all humanity to find genuine happiness, joy, fulfillment within by making choices with the blessing of free will. Therefore, the health of the environment, the health of every human being in the we of all humanity, and ultimately the health of the vibrationally sensitive universe are dependent upon the individuals who comprise the we of all humanity choosing with the blessing of free will to change by taking the drastic measure of eliminating the use of hydrocarbon fuels as the primary energy source within my lifetime with the plan described earlier. I once had someone tell me, "But what you are talking about is not reality." My response is this: do you want a reality in which over 3 million people on the whole planet die needlessly every year from outdoor hydrocarbon fuel air pollution for no other reason than corporate greed, corrupt politicians, and shareholder ROI? Do you want a reality in which tens of millions are sickened every year because of outdoor hydrocarbon fuel air pollution, and thousands more die from extreme weather events such as heat waves, floods, hurricanes, tornadoes related to climate change? Do you want a reality in which man-made climate change is pushing the delicately balanced environment of the home planet ever closer to the point of no return? And once it reaches the point of no return, there is nothing that can be done to reverse the long-term trend and avoid the genocide for the we of all humanity for no other reason than short-term profits? Do you want a reality that includes one last human in the we of all humanity breathing one last breath of polluted air on the home planet? The planet intended to be the planet of lavender hue by the creator of humanity. If this is the reality you want, look in the mirror. It's because you are not A-OK, just fine, as officially being presented in your boy god Kantile, perfect pearl, with 10-inch angel wings, E-Yard Act. The message in the We of All Humanity website can be summarized in 3 main points. First, the we of all humanity, the home planet, the universe are integrated into the one true God, the me, of the trust, tenderness, truth. Next, the cause of all of humanity's problems is the generational effect of black-white parenting with fear, a lack of lamal before the age of 2. And finally, global warming is caused by man, and the creator of humanity cannot save humanity unless humanity chooses with the blessing of free will to do that which is in the best interest of me, the we of all humanity.